Yo, welcome back to the Storm Review. My name is Storm. Wanted to go back to the podcast today. Welcome back, everybody. Good to see you again. Hopefully, number one didn't scare you away. It's kind of a weird format, but really been enjoying it. Just getting back into the swing of things. Actually getting to talk about something that I'm truly passionate about and love. And this group that I've been working with in Discord has just been beyond mind-blowing and great to deal with and just super inspirational. So I wanted to really rep out another one. Really just kind of doing this off the top of my head, to be completely honest. I think today I'm going to talk about the storyline in Old Pocket Summoner. Now, the story, it wasn't super strong, like I mentioned last episode, but it did have some key aspects that I wanted to touch on. So, the story itself was based on the title of the game, the Dark Dragon. Really just kind of getting into it, they didn't do a whole lot. I'm going to be honest, it was one of those games that kind of survived on how little it actually did. So you start the game and you meet the main character, the green hair, purple outfit dude that was on the icon. Basically is this spirit summoner in the Pocket Summoner world that kind of walks you through in a tutorial. It's not even really a tutorial, it's more of a welcome to the world you're in, frickin' go. Not a lot of explanation there, which was kind of disappointing. I really was hoping that they would work their way into having a little bit more help, because walking into a game like this, sure, it was simple enough once you got going, but it can be intimidating not knowing what things are, what things do, and given the fact that there was little dialogue, and if there was dialogue, it was kind of broken English dialogue, it was difficult to start working through what you needed to be doing and what the purpose was. So, after you started going through, you basically just started doing all these tap quests, and you leveled up super fast, which was nice at the very beginning, because really in a day, you could have been almost level 16 or 17, and at the time when the game first came out, I think the max, there really wasn't a max until they put in the Beast Plains, and it started at 70, and they moved it to 80. So getting, a fourth of the way through all the levels that you could have had, it was a bit interesting, because the pacing of the game was different. It was definitely designed so you'd walk in and be able to be hooked right away, because jumping that many levels in such a short amount of time really makes you feel like you're good at something. But it was so simple. All you had to do was tap and you'd get experience and money, and you would occasionally fight like this random guard that you would find. So I remember one of the first ones was like you had to fight Waga, which was like that yellow duck-looking ghost, and then finding the light, and then there was like Bulbhead, and I think they called it Firemon. It was that little fireball that had like punching bag gloves on. It was just like, okay, where are we going with this? None of the areas really made sense. And kind of bouncing back and forth, like help the townspeople, explore the light. Like the story wasn't there, but it was just loose enough that it made enough sense. So you'd keep going, and then finally this Dark Summoner just pops into the story, and the Dark Summoner was interesting, because it was probably one of the bigger challenges in the game at the time, was 3v3 PvP with this Dark Summoner, and he actually had a really kind of stacked team at the time, because Dark types really kind of ruled the game. And he had... It was difficult to beat him, because he had certain level mons, and he would come through and basically just wreck your team. You would have to readjust a few times to actually beat him, but the dialogue around him really didn't make a lot of sense. He was just out here screwing up things and collecting spirits, and it just why? Why, really? I mean, they don't really explain his purpose until further down the line when they introduced Dr. X. Now, Dr. X was trying to rip open a portal to let the Dark Dragon in, but then this also let out his minions of chaos, so you had Wicked, Nefarious, Dread, and Nefarious, I think were the four that came out, and then Chaos. And he was just like, okay, so we have minions of this Dark Dragon, who's the master, Dr. X, who's just here, the robots, and again, it's just like, how does this all tie together? So, really sticking to it, I mean, you got through the Dark Dragon quest line, and, you had the Dragon Queen, and then they started implementing things in the clan shop that went along with the dragons, letting your fire ground, water, and air dragons evolve further because they're all children of the Dragon Queen, who really didn't play any part in the story. It didn't say whether it was a sibling to the Dark Dragon or the mother or the daughter or whatever. I mean, they didn't explain anything. So it was just sitting here. You were super confused throughout this entire storyline, which I feel like a lot of people just didn't care about towards the end because really it was just about your level. So ultimately, it was just like, what was Rita thinking? Did they just want to continue to add these as something to do and they just didn't want to put a lot of effort into the story? Did they have a story and cut it because there was too much dialogue? I mean, there was no cohesive unit. It was just kind of randomly placed splotches of dialogue here and there that would work. And then Beast Plains, which they introduced later, got no introduction. It was just a new area. There was no story along with it. I mean, they just kept giving out these quests with 5 or 6 word titles that just kind of told you what you were doing, but none of it led to anything. So it needed to be completely reworked, and that's something that in a game that we're creating, we're trying to do a lot better on. We want the story and the lore and the characters to actually mean something. Because having a game that only has 3 or 4 characters in it, and then just a bunch of talking dragons that only have about 100 lines of dialogue in total is not a game. That is just additional things off to the side. I mean, any game now, you could get through 100 lines of dialogue in the first 5 minutes of the tutorial. I mean, there was just nothing. So, I don't know. You guys let me know what you thought about the Pocket Summoner storyline in the comments. I'm reading all the comments. I'm loving that I'm getting some feedback. Let me know what topics you want me to talk about in the comments. As always, if you want to get these right away, please subscribe, hit the bell icon, all of that good stuff. But yeah, otherwise, for now, my name's Storm. Thank you guys for joining the Pocket Summoner podcast, and Discord and Reddit links in below. See ya.